Today we're going to cover a few intermediate concepts so that you can quickly build a drillable map just like this one, which represents the 2016 presidential election. So if I click on each individual state, it gives me the percentage voted Democrat versus Republican. I can click on drill, and the map will automatically display only the counties for that state. If I drill back up, using the built-in breadcrumb, it will show me all my states. Maybe we select Texas. Now we get Texas. You get the idea. So let's learn how we can build something like this. And today we're going to use Excel as our data source just to keep it simple. So I have in my Excel sheet some data that shows the individual state, the label for each individual state, which you can see is concatenated together. This is actually the first intermediate concept that I wanted to speak to. The idea in CMaps Analytics is that we want to grant complete control over what a user sees when they click on an individual location, whether it be point or geography. So whether you're using Excel to concatenate, if you're using an enterprise reporting solution, you can create a custom label variable, or using JavaScript, you can concatenate labels, and we support HTML inside of our info windows. So we have a total votes measure. We have a drill ID, which we're going to come back to. This is very important when you want to drill between two different layers. And then we have a last column where we're going to manually define our color based on the states that won. So you can see in my Excel spreadsheet I have this data for state and county level. And because it's a relatively small volume of data, we're talking thousands of records here, we can actually post all of this data into CMaps Analytics, and in this case, let the map do a little bit of the heavy lifting for us. So what the map will not do is dynamically aggregate from the county level up to the state level. And you can see here we have the FIPS ID as the identifier per county. First thing I'll do is click Create Layer. And this is going to be administrative area. A good habit is to name your layers. So this is going to be states. We're going to use our region geocoder. Now, in the current version, we actually have to tell CMaps Analytics what geographic level we want to display. This will be completely dynamic moving forward. So we select provinces or states, which once again has global coverage. We're going to go to data. We're going to select where we're going to get our data from. So if we're getting it from Esri or JavaScript API or Excel in this case, I'm going to paste my data directly from Excel. We click OK. And CMaps Analytics will give me a nice little wizard here where I can define each one of the columns and what type of data it is. So the first column is going to be our location. Our second column is going to be our label when we click on the map. Our third column is going to be a numeric value, and this is going to be total votes. This is going to be our drill ID, and this is going to be very important, so when we drill from state to county, we need a common ID between the two, and we'll see how to link that up in a moment. And lastly, this is going to be our color, which we don't really have to define. We can use the color in our data, but I'll show you in a moment how we could actually use CMaps Analytics to dynamically change the color. And that's it. We have our data. At any time I can come back and reconfigure, edit any one of the columns. So if we go to appearance, we're going to change some of the appearance capabilities. We're going to change the transparency, maybe to 70%. I do want this map layer to be initially visible because this is going to be our state level. And then for drilling, we want states to be the top level of our geographic hierarchy. So our drill level is going to be 1. And if you forget how to use this property, you can always click on the help icon where it will tell you how to use every property in CMaps Analytics. Then we need to tell the map when to drill. Now, by default, we could actually drill just by clicking on a state, but obviously you want to see the statistics for each individual state before you drill. So I'm going to say info window icon clicked. And then there is no parent layer above state, so we can leave this here. And we could also leave the US map when we're looking at the county level data, but I think it provides a cleaner user experience in this particular case, so I'm going to leave this unchecked. Lastly, I mentioned that we don't have to use the data to define the color. We also feature the ability to use targets or specific values, or we could use Choropleth, which is not applicable in this case. So when I click Save, it's automatically going to geocode those locations and render the map so that I can see a live preview of my data. Now the next thing that we want to do is add our county level data. So I'm going to add a brand new layer. We're going to call this county. In this case, rather than zips, we're going to define this as US counties. We go to data. Once again, we're going to select Excel as our data source. Now I can go back and grab my county level data. Now I could include the header labels if I wanted, but in this case I'm not. And if you do include your header layers, you just need to check this box. We click OK, and we go through the same process. Location, label, total votes. We have our drill ID. So the important thing is that the IDs in our county layer need to match the drill IDs of our state layer. And that's how CMaps Analytics draws those relationships, so that when I go and click on Alaska State, which was abbreviated as AK, only those counties with a drill ID of AK will display. And last, we have color. So we have our layer defined. We go to Appearance. I'll also change the transparency. I do not want my counties layer to be initially visible. So we're going to hide that. Otherwise, we would actually see all of the counties by default. We're going to go to drilling. Now this drill level is going to be number 2, because the top layer is going to be US states and counties is going to be my second layer. Additionally, you could have multiple layers at a single drill level, which is a pretty nice feature. Now we need to define when we drill on counties. Well, we're not going to drill to a deeper layer, so we're going to leave that blank. And then we need to define the parent layer. So which layer in the geographic hierarchy is going to be driving the counties. In this case, we're going to say states. We save this. CMaps Analytics will geocode both layers, so you can see it goes very quick. Now when I click on California, I click on the drill icon, and we get just California and the individual counties in California. So that's it. Now we can take this file. If I wanted to deliver this to my developer, I could provide them with a template. I can download it as an HTML file onto my desktop and share this via email or embed it on my portal. Or we could actually take this template and embed it into some of our partner and native extensions.